Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining me today. Somebody asked me one time if I would do a video about what tools I carry in the truck with me. And you know what? That's a good idea. I'm finally getting around to it. I got a little bit of time, so I went and I emptied everything out of my truck so that I would have everything here to show you. And boy, it's a lot of stuff. I guess my objective is to stay off the tow truck and to avoid road service. So I guess that involves carrying all these extra tools, that some of which I don't use very much, but when I need them that one time, they sure do come in handy. I used to carry a lot more, and after a friend of mine affectionately referred to my truck as the hardware store, he called it True Value Hardware, I thought, you know what, maybe it's time to get rid of some of these things out here that I'll probably never use, like a 20-ton bottle jack, tire irons, jack stands. I guess there's certain things you just don't need to be doing. And so I weeded them out, saved a bunch of room in my truck, filled it up with parts. So I'll do two videos, one on the tools I keep in my truck, and then the second on what extra parts do I carry. So let's get into the tool video right now. One of the things here is this little handy grabber here. In case you drop a nut or something down into a tight spot and you can't see it or reach it, you shove this down in there and get it. This is a Davco fuel filter wrench. Use this all the time. This is what you use to change that Davco fuel filter. Got a video on that if you haven't seen it. Go back, it was my first video. Kind of long and clunky, but effective. This is a 1/2-inch drive breaker bar from Harbor Freight. It's actually a really good breaker bar. I watched some reviews, some comparisons of this versus the Snap-on and the Mac and the Matco, and it's actually performed really well. I use it and I really actually like it. It's got a really comfortable handle on it. Of course, starting fluid. I don't use this for starting the truck. I use it for cleaning up oil leaks. Sometimes I got a little bit of a leak on my front cover, and I just like the starting fluid. It cleans a little better than brake clean. I do also carry brake clean. Just be careful not to use this around anywhere that could catch on fire. Some penetrating oil, whatever your favorite kind is. WD-40, PB Blaster, whatever. This is a wrench, filter wrench for the bypass filter and oil filters. Big old heavy small mallet here. It's a 2.5 pound hammer. This is a newer addition to my collection. Claw hammer. Some large zip ties. Whole bunch of zip ties. I use a lot of zip ties for things. If you got a rub or something, you need to zip tie up some brake lines or wiring or whatever. Then I bought this canister here of zip ties. Smaller assorted zip ties from Harbor Freight probably 15 years ago, and I'm still working on using them all. There's hundreds of them in here. A 12-point a 12-point socket kit with a pass-through. These are pass-throughs. I don't know if you can see all the way through them. So they function kind of as good as a deep well. You can go all the way down on like a charge air clamp. They're really long. You can go all the way down on it. Really nice. Plus your starter bolts, and actually my U-joint nuts are 12-point. Not that I'll necessarily be using this for those things, but you know, you can use the 12 points for many different things. I have a small torque wrench here that I carry. This is inch pounds, because I like to torque things to the proper spec. So if I'm changing like a hub oiler or something, I use that. This is just a little can of flux for it's solder flux. Comes in handy sometimes. I don't know if you ever know what these things are. If you're hooking different trailers all the time, you sometimes get them light sockets that want to wobble around. If you slide this on your pigtail, it takes up that slack and it'll hold it nice and tight in there. Get them at the truck stop. I'll post some links in the description below on some of these items that I think might be useful to you. Check them out. This is a shallow 33 millimeter socket impact for lug nuts. In case you're ever in the get inspected or something, you got a loose lug nut. You've seen these heat shrink butt connectors. Excuse me, I use these all the time. Really like them. I got a video on these. Check it out. There's also a link to where you can purchase them if you like. This is a 1/2-inch drive clicker type torque wrench. I use this often, you know, for your drain plugs or whatever. I like to set things at the proper spec. Crowbar, pulling nails out of trailer floors and stuff like that, or you know, multiple uses for that. Got this little 1/2 or a 1/4-inch drive socket set. The case was cheap and it broke open on me, so I duct tape it shut for a lot of your smaller items. Of course, you're never complete unless you have a roll of duct tape. I like this T-Rex tape. Kind of been using that here lately. I really like that. A funnel, a smaller funnel. And then these large size wrenches here. The most common one I use is the 1 1/8" because that's the size for your shock bolts. Well, for my shock bolts anyways. Goes from 3/8 up to 1 1/4". I actually got these a really good price on these. If you look at them in like Home Depot or something, they're quite expensive. I got these from a Mr. Tool in Hubbard, Ohio, in the truck stop. He's got some pretty decent tools and decent prices there. This is a 1/2-inch drive impact socket set. I don't know how small it goes. It goes up to 1 1/4". Use these all the time. You can save yourself a lot of hassle carrying those. You've seen this doodad here, for tire inflation. Got a video on that if you want to check it out. Really like that thing. Let's see what is in this DeWalt bag right here. Half-inch drive impact. I use this thing all the time. I'm always using this thing. Love it. It saves me from having to get help a lot, you know. It's got a hog ring anvil like that. Pretty powerful. It will take some lug nuts off. Some it's just not. It's hard on this thing to use it on lug nuts, so I don't. But in a pinch, you can definitely tighten them, you know, get through an inspection or whatever. Cordless grinder with cutoff wheels. And then obviously the battery charger that goes with this stuff. And a deep well 33 millimeter socket. I like to carry a shallow and a deep. In case different trailers, different stud lengths on them, whatever. Now in regards to this stuff, this DeWalt stuff I have, I really like it. I'm not a die-hard person that says you gotta have DeWalt or you gotta have Milwaukee or you gotta have Snap-on. You get what you can afford. You know, an off-brand is better than nothing at all. This really wasn't that expensive. The reason I bought this in the beginning was it came as part of a kit on the holiday sale that was really, really reasonable. It came with this and then another driver and three batteries and a battery charger, something else. So once you get the batteries, you might as well continue on the same product line. I do really like the Milwaukees, however. I can't see myself ever spending the money on Snap-on and that. I'm not obviously not a professional mechanic. This stuff suits me just fine. Here's that 1/4-inch impact driver that kit came with. Here's a battery for it. I use this thing all the time too. Makes short work of different jobs. Oh, this drill came with the kit. This 20-volt max drill. This is really nice too. And then, obviously another charger. I carry these little They are impact grade. They're Torx head, this what people call the star head. Use these for there's a lot of these Torx head bits on the truck. Use these for taking my steps off and stuff like that. Makes pretty short work of that. What else we got in here? This Milwaukee drill bit set. It's not a very big set, but comes in handy. I got it on the cheap, otherwise I wouldn't typically buy that. I would have went with a different set with more bits in it. This is a Milwaukee Bit Set. It's got 1/4 inch, 3/8, 1/2 inch. Wait, I'm sorry, looking at it upside down. Here you got a 3/8, so you can put sockets on your 1/4 inch drive. 1/2 inch. This holds different bits here. It's got a couple drill bits in there. These bit holders are for these different attachments here. You got a bunch of, you got some Torx head bits, flathead, Phillips head, Allen head. No, we got all kinds of things in there. Really like this. It's way better than the DeWalt set. I got this on sale too. I use this thing all the time. I even bought an extra one. Keep one in the truck. It never leaves the truck. Got one at home. It stays here. This is a 20-foot heavy gauge jumper cables. I think they're 2 gauge. Pretty sure they're 2 gauge wire. Nice and heavy duty, which you need for a truck. Plenty long, 20 feet. You can go from the truck batteries to your reefer batteries, or if you can't get close enough, somebody to jump them, whatever. I like these. I don't know what brand they are, but they're nice and flexible. It's not that cheap plastic crap that doesn't bend, which is really nice in the winter time. This DeWalt leaf blower, cordless leaf blower, is relatively new to my collection. It's part of their 20 volt max series. I use this for blowing out trailers. Just recently got it here. I haven't had it but a few months. It does so much better job than a broom. So much faster and easier. I never thought I'd buy one, but I bought one and I love it. This is my Lincoln cordless grease gun. You'll see that in a video. And if you're ever on a layover, reason I carry a grease gun, you're ever on a layover or sitting somewhere for a long time, start greasing your truck if it's due. Save you from having to take time out to do it at home. The tube of grease is, a couple tubes of grease is about 11 bucks rather than paying $40 at the Speedco, whatever they get these days. This is I call it a torque multiplier. You may call it something else. It'll go up to 3,300 foot-pounds. This is for busting loose, like lug nuts. You know, if you got nuts on your frame, stuff like that that they're rusted on, you don't have a torch. In a pinch, well, anytime. This baby is powerful, and it'll take them off. So, you be careful when you use it, because you could potentially snap a lug off, turning the wrong way on it, stuff like that. I used it once, got me out of a bind, and I just carry it with me. Sometimes it's nice to have tools that you can help somebody else out with too. Or if you're I guess if you're the type that wants to charge money for it, go right ahead. Not a problem. All right, I got a couple more tool bags here to go through. Bear with me. Black tape, black electrical tape. Let's just look through all the pouches here so we get it all. Here's that tool for changing the plug in my Webasto. I got a full set of Allen wrenches in here. I've got some extra glad hand rubbers. Those are more parts than tools. These bits here will fit my cordless impact. Okay, we got a regular 1/2 inch drive socket set. Crescent wrench. This is a 1/2 inch drive ratchet from Harbor Freight. Check this out. Extendable. I really like this thing. It's nice. Needle nose pliers. Regular 1/2 inch drive. Utility knife. Several pairs of Vise Grips. Wire cutters. Glad hand lock. Another glad hand lock. Padlock. I won't take all the different pairs of Vise Grips I got. These are for crimping butt connectors. They're real nice. Couple different sizes of Phillips head screwdrivers. Nut driver. This is a common size nut driver that fits most hose clamps. Gosh dang it, I forget this. So it's 8mm. Regular pair of pliers. Extra air chuck. Battery terminal cleaner. It's got the brush on this end, brush on that end. Various different extensions for ratchets. Small crescent wrench. Big pair of pliers, channel locks. Another set of Allen wrenches. Pipe wrench. Actually, I got 2 pipe wrenches in here. I got a full set of these ratcheting gear wrenches. They need a little bit of oil. Full set of those. Got some more screwdrivers in here. This is a tire valve core tool for changing the valve core. I got some adapters here for impact. It'll go 1/2 inch to 3/8. Be careful with that so you don't snap things off. Needle nose vise grips. This is a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch impact adapter. I got a whole series of wobble extensions in here. 1/2 inch, 3/8, 3/4 inch. This gator grip socket that somebody bought me one time is supposed to fit any size. A bolt head. That's everything out of this tool bag. Can of silicone spray lubricant. I like this for door hinges and stuff. I've got this clear Gorilla tape. I carry this rescue tape. You'll see this in truck stops. I don't know if you saw my video where I had to use some of this where I had a coolant leak, but this stuff is great. I highly recommend it. If you get in a pinch, it can bail you out. A few different sizes of these carabiner hooks. They're good for just securing an airline or something in a pinch if you need to. This is a can of liquid electrical tape. It works like black electrical tape, but it's liquid. You just paint it on. Super glue. It comes in handy sometimes. I carry a micro torch as well as an extra can of butane. A cigarette lighter, just in case I run out of butane for my torch. A couple cigarette lighters here. That's for heat shrinking butt connectors if I need to. Here I got an additional valve core tool. I have a couple common size of these Torx head drivers. Those are those star-shaped bits again. I have a whole pick set. You've seen me use those in my video on the S-bar unit. Some additional zip ties. And then this circuit tester here. And then finally here, we have this digital multimeter, which I use quite often. These things are handy as heck. I suggest you buy one. Actually buy a couple, because I don't know, for whatever reason I tend to misplace them. I got like 3 or 4 of them. You can get them cheaply at Harbor Freight for less than $10. I like to, actually I buy one and keep one in each vehicle. So buy one, learn how to use it. They're really handy. So that pretty much concludes just about everything I carry in the truck. I don't think I forgot anything. No, I don't think so. So I hope you found this helpful. Do you need to carry all this stuff? Probably not. But I tell you what, if you need it that one time, it sure is handy, and it can keep you out of the shop or keep you from having a late delivery or what have you. So I hope you enjoyed that, found it handy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe. We'll see you next time.